We have a secret tip to help you produce a healthy and thriving herb garden. That secret is companion planting. Strategically placing different plants together will allow you to take advantage of their beneficial relationships with other plants. Whether that is to help discourage pests, encourage beneficial insects, or even prevent a change to the flavor of nearby herbs or vegetables. And, most importantly, you can provide the same care to plants with the same needs. The team at Gardening Know-How is here to offer you our sage advice, pun intended, to companion planting your herb garden. First, let's start with the basics: light, soil, and water. Planting herbs and other edibles with similar light, soil, and water requirements will optimize the health and productivity of your herb garden. Most herbs do prefer to be planted in full sun, although there are a few different varieties that are shade tolerant. Some herbs, such as parsley, mint, chives, and lemon balm, can tolerate both sun and part shade. Whether you are planting your herbs in the ground or in a container, choosing the right kind of soil is the first step to a healthy herb garden. When planting herbs, you want to avoid wet, soggy soil with poor drainage. In containers, be sure to choose a high-quality potting mix that is rich in nutrients. It is always recommended to amend your soil, whether in the ground or in containers, with compost to both improve drainage and increase its organic matter. For additional information on improving the quality of your soil, see the link in the description to our 5 quick tips to boost your soil's health. As with all plants, water is an essential part of the growing process. You will want to keep your herbs well watered throughout the growing season. Containers often dry out faster than in-ground plantings, so they may require a bit more care. On the other hand, you will also want to be careful not to overwater them, as this can lead to root rot. Plus, some herbs prefer soil on the drier side, but we will talk more about that later. A few applications of fertilizer would also be beneficial to provide needed nutrients during the growing season. You could choose between an organic, slow-release granular formula, a water-soluble option, or even a fertilizer specific to tomatoes. You can fertilize every few weeks, just do not over-fertilize during each application. If you are limited on space, have poor soil, or if you want to keep your herbs close at hand for quick use in the kitchen, most herbs are well suited for growing in containers and can exist just about anywhere if given the proper light and water. When it comes to choosing containers for your herbs, it is important to pick pots that are the right size for the plant. If mixing a combination of herbs into one pot, of course you'll need more space, but individually planted herbs such as thyme or chives would do well in smaller pots. Clay, plastic, wood, or metal are all acceptable, but the porous nature of clay allows the planters to dry quicker, especially when overwatered. Be sure to choose planters with large drainage holes. If you aren't using a traditional style container, be sure to poke some holes into the bottom for drainage. When planting herbs together in one pot, be careful not to overcrowd the plants and choose herbs with similar growing requirements. One such planter that is popular with herb growers is the strawberry pot. They are often made of terracotta and may include many openings around the sides for your smaller herbs, with a large hole at the top for larger plants. A few good choices for this kind of pot would be cascading herbs, such as oregano, thyme, or marjoram, adding upright growers such as basil, rosemary, parsley, or chives at the top. The next step on your companion herb garden journey is deciding between sowing seeds or purchasing already established potted herbs. If growing from seed, you'll not only be able to choose from a wider assortment of varieties, but you'll be able to witness the entire life cycle of the plant, from tiny seed to mature herb. On the other hand, potted herb plants from your local garden center will provide convenience and a head start in the growing process. It saves time and effort, especially for those new to gardening or with limited space. Plus, it will allow you to enjoy the benefits of herbs sooner. Several herbs are known for their ease of growing from seed, making them ideal choices for novice gardeners or those who prefer starting from scratch. These herbs are adaptable and can thrive in various growing conditions, including containers or garden beds. Not all herbs thrive in the same conditions. Some herbs prefer dry soil, some moist soil, and some grow too tall or too big to be paired with other varieties. Plus, others may be considered invasive and take over in the same area. So, when growing herbs in the same raised bed or patio pot, it is best to group plants with the same requirements or growth rate. One example of a combination pot that would work well would be to combine the Mediterranean herbs. You'll never lack on flavor with this mix of easy-to-grow, drought-tolerant herbs. Some of these herbs can get rather woody and large with time. If growing in a container, you may want to consider transplanting them into the garden when they become too big. There are also other herbs that enjoy a similar sunny spot but with a bit more moisture. Basically, you should consider mixing herbs with similar irrigation needs. For an area with a bit more shade, say around 3 to 6 hours of sun per day, the following herbs are your best bet. Shade-tolerant herbs may grow tall and lanky as they reach for the sun. However, you can encourage bushier plants by pinching them back as they put on new growth. Mint can tolerate both full sun and light shade in soil that is dry to moist. It can grow just about anywhere, but it comes with a warning. Mint is extremely aggressive and should never be planted in the ground. Always plant it in containers. Also, different types of mint, including spearmint or lemon mint, may cross-pollinate, changing the flavor of each type. So plant each variety separately. Now, this doesn't mean we don't still love mint. Try this container recipe to add flavor to your favorite summertime drink. Now let's switch gears and take a look at some of the most common herbs and their perfect matches. Basil not only repels insects, but it's a must to combine with tomatoes. Chives are a great partner with most other herbs and veggies as they attract pollinators and repel aphids. Cilantro deters mites and aphids in the garden. Pair it with beans or peas for a nitrogen boost to the plant. The blooms on sage attracts much needed pollinators while repelling such insects as slugs on strawberries. Rosemary is one of the few herbs that doesn't get along well with others. However, it is a great companion with broccoli, beans, peppers, and cabbage as it helps to ward off insects. Another favorite herb, dill, attracts a flurry of beneficial insects while also deterring pests such as aphids, cabbage loopers, and spider mites. Try these additional kitchen-themed gardens that combine both veggies and herbs. Pick a peck of pickled cucumbers with this container filled with ingredients to make these briny snacks. Prepare your perfect pie with fresh Italian flavors such as tomatoes, oregano, and basil. Kick your dinner up a notch with incredible flavor combinations inspired by American and Mexican cuisine. For a full listing of compatible herbs, see the link in the description of this video. Finally, don't be afraid to harvest your herbs regularly. Consistent harvesting will keep the plants from getting too big and too unruly, but it will also help to encourage new growth. To create a constant supply of fresh herbs, many varieties are easily propagated by stem cuttings. Just snip a section that is 3 to 4 inches long right above a leaf node. Make sure the cuttings are from a piece that is not yet flowered. Then, remove the lower leaves and place the stem in a glass of fresh water in a bright location. Change the water every few days until you see root growth. This may take 2 to 4 weeks. Plant your new cutting into soil once the roots reach about 2 inches long or more. Now that you know how to grow and propagate your favorite herbs, you'll never need to be without fresh herbs again. Oh, look at the time. I think we're near the end. I hope I provided you with some encouragement to grow a companion herb garden of your very own. Remember, when it comes to companion planting, it's all about herbally ever after. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips on gardening and visit our website at gardeningknowhow.com. Our website is a pretty big deal. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.